like, I want to be like Mutua one day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
In fact, what would you tell younger folks who are listening to you right now and they're thinking, oh man, my work will probably not pay.
Yeah.
I should probably just get a day job.
Yeah.
What would you tell these guys, man?
No, I get that, because even for me, I think the transition was, I can't say was easy, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because now I've been just focusing on being a creative entrepreneur for maybe 13 years now.
Impressive.
And it has not always been good, but I don't think I would trade it for anything in the world.
Yeah.
So anyone who's kind of starting now, I would say first understand it's going to be a long journey. So depending on how, you just have to, just like what I said earlier, you have to love the process. First, you have to love the process of what you do, because whether it makes money or not, you have to love the process of what you do. The money you can always make from something else. Like if you're an artist at core, sometimes it might even be better truly to be employed, make your money from somewhere else,
It's
so that
true.
you protect your art.
Live with dignity, man.
Yeah.
Get your money.
Because the art can also be frustrating, that you love it so much, but it gives you nothing.
Yeah.
And I've been through that also.
Yeah.
Where you're like, is this worth it?
Let me ask you something, because I read a book by, I can't remember her name, Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yeah.
Amazing. The creative, was
Is
it
the creative
Big Magic?
Okay, yes,
Big
I
Magic,
know Big Magic, yes.
She was like, it almost feels like you're bullying your art when you constantly expect it to pay you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Man, I know exactly what you mean. It can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
Because the art also doesn't have any obligations. The art doesn't owe you anything.
You know what I mean, bro.
And it's a very hard truth to hear, that your art that you put so much into does not owe you anything.
Yeah.
And that's just life.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I know, and many times, also I think we need to make examples. We need to, sometimes even us as the artists who are visibly seen, just paint true observations on this world.
Okay.
Because a lot of and I might butcher the examples, because even a lot of the artists that we know in the past,
Right.
great artists like Picasso level, were not always were not all full-time artists. A lot of them had jobs and were amazing artists who history remembers.
Right.
But we just never talk about the fact that they had jobs and did their art on the side.
Yeah.
The art was still valid and the art was still powerful over time. So art doesn't become powerful just because you are doing it full time or just because you're suffering for it. That's what I believe.
We'll talk about that suffering part, Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know most artists and creatives have a weird relationship with this suffering thing.
I know.
So you mentioned historically.
I get it.
I want to bring it back to Africa.
Yeah.
So historically, outsiders, quote unquote, have been taking photographs of our stories. They create all these visuals through their own lens.
Yeah.
What changes? And we know how they perceive us. What changes though when our own people, folks like you, document our stories through the lens? What's the difference really between those guys and us guys?
Let me tell you, there's a huge difference. And the difference is, there's a few differences. The ones that stand out to me the most, one, dignity. There's one thing about, and this is not just a thing that will be inherently true just because you're photographing your community. You can still be, what's the word when you're taking advantage of people? You can still exploit your own community.
Good word.
That is also possible.
Yeah.
But when you're connected to the work that you're creating or to the people whom you're highlighting, there's something in there that becomes, there's something that is dignified about it.
Right.
That you see those people as people and not just the people who will make you rich or not just characters of a book.
Yeah.
And that's a huge difference, number one. Another difference is that when you know that you can go back to those communities over and over, then there's a better connection. Because sometimes it doesn't take just the first time that you go to get the full story.
Right.
And to get, so that connection sometimes takes time.
Yeah, oh my God,
there. And the more you see people as people,
and
the more you're willing to see them often, over and over, I think that makes such a huge difference from when you're coming.
Yeah.
And you just finish, collect what you
leave,
need and go. And to be fair, at the risk of, being seen as too like an activist, all of this is down to the idea of colonization.
Right.
Because a lot of white people, Europe and Americas and whatever, but especially Europe, are used to coming to Africa or to lesser places that they consider lesser and taking, because that's the idea of colonization. That's one of the things why a lot of us here in Africa didn't colonize. We're not necessarily always used to the idea of just going somewhere, taking everything, and then just going. So for us, there's a lot more connection to the things that we do, and that doesn't make us necessarily better. Just as I said, it's still possible to exploit your own community for your own benefit. But I think when people tell stories of their own communities, the stories are a lot richer.
Speaking of rich stories, so let me just be straight up. So rich stories, I guess, especially when you're speaking from an African perspective, being authentic, maybe some people would imagine means you showcase struggle, suffering, nini. So how do you create a balance between the beauty of Africa? Because it's a beautiful space. It's diverse. And of course the reality on the ground. I've seen some of your work in Kibera. Amazing, bro. So how do you create that balance?
I think we just have to, as an artist, and I'm not even saying this is easy, but as an artist, I think you have to not shy away from the tough things or be in a rush, because sometimes the tougher stories need more time and they need a lot more connection from you. And sometimes I get it, because honestly, a lot of artists are very emotional. We feel deeply about the things that we feel deeply about. Meaning we connect a lot with the work that we do and the subjects we deal with, which is what could make artists have a harder time with certain topics. And someone has to know what their limits are. Like with this subject, I can deal with it. With this other subject, is a bit too much for me. For me, the path that I've chosen is of cities mostly. And when I travel to cities, I don't shy away from the underbelly to some extent, to a place where I still feel safe. And I still want to walk around with people from that city to show me the reality of their city, to show me the things that you like, show me the things that you hate. That way I have a balanced enough idea of this city. And with Nairobi, it's the same thing. Like for me, as much as a lot of my photography might not be of downtown and of Grogan, I've also photographed in those areas. I've walked down Grogan and photographed. It was a little scary, but sometimes you do it the first time and you realize, it's not that bad.
That's why I was amazed by that. That's the few pictures that you've taken in Kibera.
People I find that people resonate, and most people are happy to have people curious about them and talk to them. Of course, there will be arrogant people who are like, don't whatever me, and that's fair. It's everywhere. But I think most people are interested that you're curious about them. Most people will stop you to even say, "Hi, hata nipige mimi picha," or something like that. They don't know that they're going to get a picture, but I find that so cool.
So you've done work that deals with the environment, of course, urbanization, like you said, you've traveled around a lot. So do you feel like it's your responsibility as well to highlight, or should I say document, issues to do with society? For example, maandamano, nini. Kenya right now we're in a revolutionary state, mentally. Right? So do you feel like you're almost like an activist through your work?
I'd say yes and no. But the reason I'm going to say yes is I do believe, not just as an artist, as a Kenyan, I have a responsibility to care for the country, to be curious about the things that ail the country. If I turn a blind eye to the plight that affects not just me but other people just because it doesn't affect me, then I think that's very hypocritical. And at the same time, the way that manifests might not look the same. For me, I tried, like last year, I did try. There's one day that I went with my camera to the streets. I was like, okay, I'm going to try capture this today. It was impossible for me. I realized no wonder there are sports photographers, there are documentary photographers.
Why was it impossible?
It was like I could not do the run and gun of shooting and still be aware of my surrounding and still all of that stuff. And that's why I realized the people who are war photographers.
It's true.
They have something that makes them very capable of being war photographers.
Yeah.
The people that are documentary photographers, they know how to connect with those stories.
Yeah.
The people that, like me, photograph architecture, other people might find our work very boring because they're like, how do you just sit there and wait for the light? Because our work might be just sitting around for 3 hours to capture 3 pictures just to get the thing right. So in that way, I'd say I might not, I'm easy on myself and understanding that just because I'm a photographer, I don't necessarily have the responsibility of capturing the revolution, but I do have a responsibility of being aware of the revolution and bringing attention to the revolution. There is that, I don't know whether it was Toni Morris, the writer, who said, it might not be Toni Morris, it might be someone else, who said one duty of the artist in revolutions is to make the revolution fun, because the revolution is it's a tough thing.
That's interesting.
It's a tough thing. And I think a lot of the times that we saw the photographers who captured things, we were so captivated by the pictures because they captured the fun, they captured the brutality, they captured a whole wide range of emotions that painted a full picture of how it was to be on the ground, because it wasn't just agony. There was some fun times, but it wasn't just fun. There were some really tough times. There was the aftermath was horrible. So I don't know. I find it's hard being someone who documents these things, because there's such a wide range of emotion to go through, and so many times you feel like I don't think I've captured what I wanted enough, or something like that. But
so I'm curious. What's the one thing that being a creative, art, photography, has taught you about yourself, especially now with the fame and the money?
Let me tell you the main thing that I say all the time. I wish my work was a lot more famous and me not as much.
That's interesting. The art versus the artist. So you want your art to be more out there as opposed to the individual.
I wish more people knew
Why
about
would
the
you
work
say that?
than they knew about me.
Why?
Just because it's the work that for me is important for people to know.
So you feel like your personality is more out there as well?
Yeah.
Like you, the person.
And I also feel like there's a requirement now.
Yeah.
And not just with me, I feel like even with musicians, like so many people now have to be personalities on top of being a musician, on top of being an artist.
Especially in this day and age of social media.
Like people are drawn to personality. And sometimes that sucks, because sometimes you just want to be a potato with no personality.
I like that, man.
You just put all the personality in the work.
It's true,
but
man.
But you just want to be a bum.
Yeah, that's typical millennial thinking. Yeah, because we grew up pre-internet.
Because us guys, we grew up not knowing anything about our artists.
Exactly.
In fact, Michael Jackson was probably the guy that we knew too much about.
Right.
You're like, now you had to think of, I like your music, but I don't like you as a person. But now I'm like, I am happy. I miss the times when you just knew.
So now that they know you this much, do you feel like you have to play a role? Lama, you're like, okay, now I have to just
I do feel like sometimes I have to be a certain way. It's like I have to be
Yeah, it's true.
And also sometimes when someone comes and they already know me from the internet, it does feel like there's a bit of a disadvantage to me.
Yeah.
Because they seemingly know, in quotes, more about me than I know about them.
Dude, you have no idea. Like even me, I'm so haunted by these cameras. I'm just sometimes I'm like, not again. But I need the money. Anyway, so let me ask you something, by the way, because I want to go back to that thing for suffering and artists. It's almost as if we romanticize suffering. For example, you hear stories of certain musicians, they have to do drugs. So that they can produce good art. I don't know whether that's a fallacy or it's a fact. Like some people actually, they create better art due to their pain, some of the trauma that they've gone through. Is this a thing?
Honestly, I think there are some people who will swear by it being their truth. It's not the case for me. I found that there's for me, I don't think suffering has made me a better artist.
Like you need liquor. So do you want?
No, suffering.
You need to cry.
The times that I've had hard times. There are some hard periods that I've been through where I've been able to unlock something.
Unlock. That's the word.
Just to unlock something. But after that, but also, as a stimulus to unlocking that, I can see how that. But I don't think suffering is a sustainable source of inspiration. First of all, because if you're an artist and you want to work, you just need to keep working. And working under suffering is very self-destructive.
Correct.
Also, joy by itself is not sustainable enough as a source of inspiration. And so I think I've found that as an artist, for me specifically, I just have to, in fact, if anything, and it's going to be, I have to be like my life has to be boring for me to be prolific.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that though.
The growth of an artist is just exists in the boring.
Okay.
And nobody, and in fact, I might be so forward as to say sometimes maybe people chase the suffering because it brings a flavor of drama that they can, keep talking about. But I don't think, or the chaos. And for me, I don't think the chase of chaos or the chase of suffering is a sustainable enough
me too.
way to work. I think the boring place is where it's at. Enough excitement to give you a boost, but then enough boring to just sit and get work done.
I like that.
That part of sitting and getting work done is so boring, but it's so effective.
It really is. And before we started the conversation, I heard you say you're a father. You're a partner. How has art, impacted your life as a family man?
It has given me balance. I think for me, my art has shown me how I have to balance. I can't just give myself into the art as much as that could be a natural progression of things. I can't just say, I'm going to follow this rabbit hole and just like I used to before I was partnered up. I could just follow this rabbit hole and just keep going. No sleep, mpaka. I feel like I'm out on the other side. And now I have to be very balanced in my dealings. Like I have to give my art its time. And then funga ofisi. Go into being a father.
Correct.
Go into being a husband. Like I have to balance all of those responsibilities because all of them are requirements. Are things required of me. Just the same way the art requires something of me, my family also requires something of me. Not just that, I have friendships. And so the role of a human or the role of an artist is a lot more than just the art. And also it's seasonal because there are some times when the art will require a lot more from you. And everybody has to be like, guys, we'll see you at the end of this thing.
It's true.
And so there are some times when for like a month or so I'm locked in and everybody knows, the family knows, not that we're not going to see each other, but I'm more locked in than usual. And maybe it's a big deadline, maybe it's a thing, but I try to also make that not be the everyday situation. Not just the norm where this is now me 90% of the time. I will prefer for that to be less than a quarter of my general time, where there's a big project and I'm just like, guys, I'm going to be locked in. We'll still see each other, but I might not be very active in these other roles. And also that, I'm grateful that I can even get the chance to do that because of having a wonderful support system around me that enables me to do that. Because sometimes that cannot be easy, for a partner that you have. But there are times where my wife is like, okay, I get what is happening. And so she doesn't require too much from me. And so I try not to take advantage of that grace and just make that my reality. So that I try to keep it as a minimum. But there are some times where that happens. But just like I said before, I like to dwell in the boring part
it's true.
of creative practice.
Awesome. So as we wrap up, you've got an amazing event coming up. Talk about that, bro. So I have a pop-up and brunch because, it's not good to have people shop on an empty stomach. It's true.
And so this Saturday, I'm going to be selling my work at Ngara. Kali Works in Ngara. It's a beautiful space, fantastic food. We're going to have drinks, good music, food, and hopefully it's a sunny day, so we're just going to have a good time. I'm going to be dropping some new merch. In fact, there's some merch that I've just dropped today on my Instagram.
Good stuff.
So there's a lot of art that I'm going to just have on display. And usually, most of the time, this is a fantastic opportunity for people to come meet the artist, come hang out, like make it a part of your everyday life. Try on clothes, see art. And many times it's so much better when you touch the art, because sometimes when things are online, you don't know what it's going to translate to in real life. Sometimes online it looks like, okay, it might be nice but not so nice, and then you come and you touch the thing, the frame, and you're like, oh my gosh,
exactly,
I just have to take this. Suddenly you can visualize it.
It's true.
Or you wear the piece of merch and you're like, oh, I thought this was just edited to look this nice, but it's actually even better on reality.
I like that.
So if you're there, it's free, so come through. It's going to be a good time. Yeah, we're definitely pulling up, bro. Yeah, yes, please. So, guys, that is Mutua Matheka. Yo, fam, I'll say it again. You've got a website, isn't it? Yes, I do have a website. MutuaMatheka.com. Awesome. Good stuff. His handle is at Sling. Say it again. Truth Sling. Yeah. I love it, man. So, go check out his work. Of course, that is Mutua Matheka. Brilliant guy, man. Thank you so much for coming through, you guys. Thanks for having me. Yeah. It's been fantastic. Be blessed, man. Yeah. Sawa. When we come back, Stories for Days, we're keeping it moving with some good music right here on hashtag After Hours on Spice across the country. It's 6 minutes after 8. Erykah Badu with Windows Seat.
94.4 Spice FM, Nairobi.